Hello everyone and welcome back to Destiny. Today we're doing something a little bit special. We're going to be visiting the Vault of Glass, Destiny's first raid. Woo!
Yay.
Yep, and in the commentary booth, so to speak, with me today is my fire team for the event, Amythir and Lazyfrire.
Hello.
Yes. I'm the one who's dragging the team down.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's okay, I almost actually forgot your
He's a
name there
fire
for a
and
sec.
I'm a team, so we're his fire team.
Oh, man. Alright.
Jokes.
Well, people don't come to my threads for any good jokes, so...
Jokes?
Jokes. Current
So,
year.
Lazyfrire, you were the... We're just going to call you the newbie for this raid. How did you find it?
I thought it was pretty fun, the parts I got through. I mean, so the one thing I'll say about Destiny is that the raids, between the videos I've seen and doing this thing, I just really like how they play out like action puzzles in a way. Like, how do I get through this? How do I do this? And even once you know what you're doing, because we semi-did, you still have to kind of go through a process, and like it's involved. It's nice. It's not just go to room, shoot things. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things Bungie did absolutely correctly with the raids. And then they kind of transplanted some of that into their newer strikes after the first, I want to say after House of Wolves. I think Taken King started it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Agreed.
In general, I like the variety of things that you have in Destiny, in both 1 and 2. So you can just go around and be a dick in single player to, like, all the mobs, or you can go and do, you know, all the other stuff that they've got. And the raids just seem to be kind of the culmination of those ideas, and it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I will say they've taken it to the extreme in Destiny 2, though, in the raid. Like the jumping puzzles and stuff. Like, the entire encounters are like jumping puzzles now.
I saw in Destiny 2, the new raid has that thing where you're like running around a track and
Yeah.
your teammates have to shoot a ball, like a thing on the outside so you can
It's the
jump
Cabal
through.
game show, yeah.
I just thought that was fucking hilarious.
It's really fun.
I like the idea. I really do. So yeah, I'm not gonna try and bother to explain everything that's happening in front of you. I've pared it down to about 50 minutes from like 4 hours of recording. And there's just too much to actually just go and explain. If anything is truly really important, then yeah, I'll mention it. But other than that, there's just no time.
Yeah, 2 of us have done this before, but like, we didn't remember it like at all. It had been so long since we did it, we'd go through and be like, oh yeah, I remember this part. And then some parts we'd be like, what do we do again? I have no idea. And we just kind of like stumbled through the entire raid that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that we actually did eventually make it completely through.
This is true. We did it.
Yeah, some of this stuff is just kind of arcane. Like, you could have sat there for a fucking full day trying to get through some of that stuff, and probably wouldn't have made any headway. But I think you guys had like some moments where you're like, oh yeah, that's the thing we're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just as a general note, don't try and engage Praetorians in fistfights. They have metal arms. You don't.
That's a boxing match you're always going to lose.
Yeah. If I was thinking with my head there, I would have reloaded the pistol and taken out a shield and...
You are not Rocky.
Yeah, no. No. Also, another little side note is that I am almost a little unintentionally giving you a sneak peek for something that we'll see later in the LP. You see, I am playing my Titan, and I am playing the subclass from the Taken King expansion, called the Sunbreaker, so... I'm not going to go into too much detail on that until we've seen the subclass roundup for the Taken King and whatnot, but... suffice it to say that the Sunbreaker is a whole lot of fun, and I really enjoy playing it.
Don't get into a fist fight with the Praetorian. Yeah, I better fight him.
I mean,
With my fists.
I cut out about 5 or 6 minutes here of us just fighting a lot of Vex.
And punching them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
A lot of punching.
it was a surprisingly long. I was thinking it would be quicker, but I think you guys mentioned this in the time we're playing. You know, usually you have 6 people for this thing. With just 3 of you, you know, you're not really able to spread out and handle things. The Vex get into the area. You have to vacate the plates. It takes longer.
Yeah, with the 3 of us here, we have roughly equivalent firepower to a 6-man team of that day and age.
Yeah, that's about right.
But again, we don't
Python
have...
and I were a little bit higher, and he was probably about the right light level for the raid, actually. We actually
More or
talked about
less.
that when we started.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a little bit higher, I think, but not by much.
Alright, so... Like I said, I'm not really going to explain the raid mechanics too much, but to actually enter the Vault of Glass, you had to hold down those sync plates until that spire in the middle formed completely. If done without any hiccups, it's probably, I want to say, maybe 5-6 minutes. And that's constantly fighting Vex and keeping Praetorians off of those sync plates, because if the Praetorians get on the plates, they start taking them back, and it's just a huge mess.
Yep, that mechanic will return to
It will.
one of the fights.
Yeah, at least they keep it consistent. One of the things, by the way, that I didn't realize or wasn't thinking about while we were doing the raid was that I wasn't getting any XP for the fights. And so I'm sitting there. If you looked at my character right before the video started, like I was right on the cusp of going up the level, and I just sat there all night going like, "What the fuck's wrong with this thing?" Not realizing that. Oh yeah, who cares if I just beat like a boss and a half? The game's not really counting that.
Yeah,
Which I thought was interesting.
Destiny raids operate a lot like WoW raids. I've played entirely too much WoW in my life, and I just, as much as I want to deny the fact, I can't. But Destiny raids, they do operate like WoW raids in that they don't allow you to do like quest progress past whatever is meant for the raid, and they don't give you experience for it.
Right, when you're in a raid in WoW, you don't gain experience.
Yeah.
Kind of forgot about that, actually.
Yep. So, I took a pause up here. Well, we took a pause up here to try and explain the fight, and I explained it poorly at the time, and I'll probably still explain it poorly here. So, basically, the gist of it is, for this first phase, we're going to be killing a lot of things, and we're going to be defending that thing in the back. Basically, if enough Vex sacrifice themselves to that thing in the back, we wipe.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we actually got through this without a wipe.
We did!
Yeah, the first phase is basically a tower defense.
Yeah.
And you might notice I actually brought back out my Vision of Confluence.
I was also using mine, except it wasn't the old version, it was the new version with the... It was the exotic version with elements on it.
Yeah.
The depth version, that's what I was looking for.
There you go. Yeah, I wasn't around when they brought the raids back. In a rotation.
I think I might be misremembering.
That thing's tearing them up, though.
Yeah, it does a surprising amount of damage for a year 1 weapon.
Yeah, I'm using a scout rifle with explosive bullets, and that was doing pretty okay against the Vex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, my Vision of Confluence was not exotic, because that does not exist. Well, it does exist, but I wasn't using the Adept one, I was using the legendary, standard legendary one at 400 light, and I was using my galley, because galley.
Yeah, I've mentioned the Gallarhorn in the LP before, but I don't have one to actually show. I never got one, ever.
That feels bad, man.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's alright.
I don't remember where I got mine.
Yeah, if you pre-ordered Rise of Iron, you got an Iron Gallarhorn.
Mine's an actual Gallarhorn, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got it still in Rise of Iron. It took me a long time to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this part. This part was funny for a very specific reason. That was it.
Yeah, so fanatics are basically Vex goblins with their heads chopped off and unstable as hell. They explode, much like the
Suicide bombers.
much like the cursed thralls.
You see me run over
Here's
here
the thrall version of the Vex.
Yeah.
and get shot by everything that ever fucking existed, waiting for that fucking green mist to give up.
That is a lot of nerds.
Yeah,
And I still do it.
also that green void zone they're leaving on the ground, that is another mechanic. If Lazyfrire were to walk through that, he'd be marked for negation, and as you can see right there, that yellow text, ritual of negation. If he was marked when the Templar did his ritual, that would instantly kill him.
You would cease to exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the Vex are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I die immediately because of the mark. I remember that part. That was a pretty funny part. I thought I did. I had some stupid death like that.
So, funny story. I did mention Lazyfrire was the newest one among us on this excursion into the vault. But at the same time, he died the least and revived us the most.
I'm really good at not getting shot when I need to not get shot.
He was also the lowest light too, so he was hanging back and just trying not to die. Whereas we were both 400 and we were like, yeah, screw it, we'll just punch some Praetorians.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the end of it though, well, that was actually, it was kind of a good thing though, because by the end of it, it was like, wait a second, if I do the lowest damage, then maybe I should hold the idiot ball and get through this. And so you guys were able to actually just throw way more damage at that thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah. This phase lasts entirely too long. We're actually into the second phase now, where we're defending 2 confluxes instead of just 1. I know, big improvement.
Uh-huh.
But this
More of a
this part,
hassle and an improvement.
this part just lasts entirely too long, really.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, take what you can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is very much a tower defense, similar to the sync plates and everything like that, but with slightly different items.
Yeah, the
Oh, and you're running into the my favorite issue from this entire fucking raid, running out of ammo.
Oh yes.
Bullet sponges, everybody.
Guardian down.
But
There I go.
I like to think of this opening part as just, it's the perfect time to get comfortable with your raid team, to shoot the shit, and just kind of calm down, relax. And, yeah. Throwing
As you
hammers.
rage and turn molten and start throwing hammers at nerds.
Dude,
That's relaxing, right?
of course.
Yeah.
Hammers are very cathartic, okay?
I do love basically all the supers in this game are pretty fucking cathartic.
They're really fun to
just
use,
like-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and just being able to throw down so much damage, just so quickly, it's pretty great.
Or tickle fingers represent.
Yeah, using them in multiplayer in Destiny 2 has been kind of funny. Just because when people
It's
pop those things, it's just
frustrating, yeah.
kind of hilarious.
See, I have been running into the issue, the giant enemy crab issue with my super. I'm trying to figure out what the best point possible is to use it so I can kill everyone.
Yeah.
In something like this, where it's just wave after wave, what I found is that if we were all just throwing down supers, we could all just pick up orbs from each other.
Yeah.
And that was by the end of this thing. I don't know if we'll see all of that, but by the end, that's kind of what I realized.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much enemy to kill, and every enemy is worth 1 orb.
Yeah, for me, like you were saying, giant enemy crab syndrome definitely hits, and you're just sitting there going like, I can't do it now. I might need it in 20 seconds. And you're surrounded by goblins and hobgoblins that could just basically feed everybody else a super.
For the viewers that are not familiar with giant enemy crab syndrome and totally not me. Could you explain that?
So,
yeah, go ahead.
it's basically the thought where, okay, I have this super powerful thing, but if I use it now, what's to say there isn't some, say, giant enemy crab that I'll have to use it in, like half a minute to a minute?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that keeps you from using the BFG in Doom.
It's like the fear of missing out. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Just hordes and hordes
They
of
just say,
enemies.
whoa, wow, you just got fucked by them hobs.
Yeah, and then I fuck them right back because hammers.
I guess the text in
Yeah.
the game does sum that up pretty well. The Templar summons his legions. It's definitely legions.
Oh, yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Jeez. I didn't have that many ads on my side, I don't think.
I'm
No, our side was a little bit better off because you and I were both over there. I was kind of
That's
sitting in the
fair.
center a little bit, but yeah.
That is true.
there was no
I
escape.
realize you were struggling with
Yeah.
that many enemies.
I didn't realize you guys weren't having the same issue.
No, I was just murdering everything.
No, I mean I
Not that
was
you weren't, but yeah.
No, I was also not paying all that much attention. I'll be
But
perfectly
like you just
frank.
saw right there, I just generated like 10 orbs.
Yeah.
Tickle fingers, man.
And something that just happened that I didn't really go over is that little pool I went to in the middle, when you're marked, it'll cleanse you. But only for so long.
What is the name of that? The Well of Negation, I think?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's some name for it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But hey, we're past that part, and inconspicuous cut to the next part, where we don't
Totally
fail.
subtle.
Sure.
Alright, these oracles... Okay, these oracles will mark you for negation if you don't kill them in time. They're accompanied by an audio cue, and they're really fucking bright.
Hope you guys have your sunglasses.
Yeah. You'd think they're difficult to miss, but you'd be surprised.
It's actually surprisingly hard to hit them because it's a small little area. The light is way brighter than the area you have to hit.
Yeah, their hitboxes
Yeah.
are 100% the most deceptive thing in this game, or in this raid at the very least.
We
There's,
actually found a neat little trivia, and at this point, our 400 light vision of Confluence took the exact same amount of shots to kill the oracles as the lower light level one.
Yeah, that was very interesting to hear.
Because they get the bonus damage against oracles, but you wouldn't expect the lower light to be as effective as the high light one.
Yeah, because it's not doing as much damage. And I mean, it's not doing as much base damage.
I wonder though if we did the high light level one, if it would still be the same.
That's a very good question.
Because this is the level 26 version, right?
Yes, it is.
I couldn't remember the exact level, but yeah. Mark for negation, run.
Yeah, and they put that fucking thing right below the guy who's shooting at your ass.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And behind the
it's-
horde of enemies that are spawning too.
It's meant to tell you, hey, you're not supposed to get marked.
Pretty much, yeah. A couple times when we did that, the well wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes back to what I was saying, that well is only there for so long. I think you
Yep.
can only get marked maybe like 3 times before the game says, no, you've failed
You're
enough.
an idiot. You deserve to die.
Yeah.
Figure out what we're trying to teach you.
So yeah, where these oracles were taking 6, 7, 8 shots from my pistol, once I start hitting it with the Vision of Confluence, it's gonna go much smoother.
It was 4 or 5 shots. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's 5 shots with the Vision.
Yeah. Okay. One thing
Oh,
I
man, you're
remembered
still
when
getting
I was doing
rushed,
this
huh?
with the highlight is we were using the sleeper stimulant and just one-shotting the oracles. But you're limited by the heavy ammo that you have. But in Destiny 1, you have heavy ammo sense,
Indeed.
which I am very much missing from Destiny 2.
To explain that, I think I may have mentioned it before in the LP, but
You did.
yeah, ammo syntheses. You can pick them up for primary, special, and heavy weapon ammo types, and what they do is they fill you back up to full. And you just kind of fight them in the tower, and you use them when you need them. And
There's a
they're
5-minute
handy.
cooldown on them, though.
Yes.
Guardian down.
That punch
Yeah,
did
this-
nothing.
Yeah, that was kind of wimpy.
You need to work out, bro.
That wasn't my fire punch. My fire punch generally does so much better. And I'm
Start
also
lifting some weights. Again.
Holy crap.
I'm also talented into what is it? The weakness curse. It's kind of like a shred armor effect.
I don't need this hammer throw.
I was really hoping that hammer throw was going to nail him. That would have been
Yeah,
fucking
I saw it
great.
sail over those. Like, yeah, I don't need
I am generally to just toot my own horn here for a sec. I'm generally very very good aim with those hammers, but that one was a whiff.
that. You didn't need it.
You didn't
That's
need
what
it.
you were saying. I
That's
don't need
fine.
this hammer to kill you.
Yeah, just throwing it away just so you they don't think you're going to have to use it.
Exactly.
I was buzzing the air control tower with it.
Oh man, that was a pretty close one there.
That was actually close. Tickle fingers.
Yeah, Amythir right now is playing the Stormcaller Warlock, which is also another Taken King subclass.
It is, isn't it?
Yep, and we'll get into that when we get into that. I'm not explaining anything.
It's a pretty fun subclass.
We'll get there eventually.
overall.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh, did that Oracle
flaming
detonate?
hammers.
No, I
fun,
killed it.
But it's fun.
Looks like that Oracle detonated.
The one thing is that we're not seeing it right now, but there is an oracle that's like right up in one spot that it's kind of difficult to see because of the Templar being there.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so I didn't realize it at the time, and I didn't have audio, so I couldn't hear the audio cues. But right about where I'm looking to the right there, there's an oracle spawn that I could never find because I'm patrolling this little area here.
Yeah, it's behind a pole. Like, there's only one vantage point you can see it from. You have to, like, walk up to it on the left side. Otherwise, the right side has to walk
Yeah.
to the back to be able to see it. There's a couple oracle
I think-
spots that are like that, actually. They're pretty well
It's
designed.
spawning there. Yeah, the spawning there was probably what made this run last a little longer than it should have. Just because, like, none of us could see it. And I think eventually, either someone going to revive somebody caught it and realized, oh, that's what's been happening, or me wandering around shot one, and that was, like, what finished it off.
Yeah.
Because you can't really tell from here, because I'm spending a lot of time in the back middle area, but I was jumping all over the place just trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, it's pretty frantic. Like, you got this horde of enemy coming at you, you got these little songbirds chirping in your ear that are gonna kill you if you don't kill it fast enough.
Yeah.
And then you got the Templar himself just raining hell upon you. Whatever you get in his line of sight, he will mess up your day.
Yeah.
That was, there were times where I just wandered out into his line and was just like, oh, well, that's half my health.
Templar
Cool.
says hello.
Yeah, that's why I generally like to prowl this little area here.
'Cause you're out of the line of sight of Templar, yeah.
Out of the line of sight of the Templar, you get easy access to 2 or 3 oracles, depending on where you're looking. And,
Plenty of ammo drops.
yeah. Unfortunately, the one downside to this spot is you can see I'm constantly getting pelted by fucking sniper rounds.
Those hobgoblins
God,
are
they're
so
bad.
annoying.
Those were bad. Those were probably the worst part of the fucking raid.
With a 6-man fire team, it's not so bad because you can always have somebody looking out for him and killing him. But when you have 3
Yeah.
people that have to clear 3 lanes of ads coming out and kill oracles and not die to Templar, the snipers are going to stay up and they're just going to keep shooting at you. And there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, that was kind of our
We
experience.
had quite a number of deaths just to the snipers.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you've got all these ads on you and then there's a sniper just taking pot shots,
Yeah.
And it's the fucking hobgoblin, so if you don't kill him in the first shot, there's a pretty good chance that shit goes up and you have to wait. Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually surprised I was getting 2 shots in before they turtled up.
Yeah, I remember you saying that during the playthrough.
Yeah, it was very odd.
Sometimes you can actually headshot them and they'll never shield.
Well, yeah, if you take off their head, they have a much less of a chance of shielding up like that.
It's a Minotaur you can get in a fist fight with.
Yeah, that worked out.
Yeah, I grazed it, and it just kind of fell over.
Yeah, so the exact opposite of your usual punch.
Yeah. Yeah, you may have heard of One Punch Man. I'm One Pinky Man, apparently.
There's an oracle to your left that you're not taking care of.
Yeah, you can hear it. I guess now you can.
Yeah, now I can hear it. When we were playing, I couldn't quite hear it so well.
Yeah, it's still there. Back to the right.
Is
up
this
that
the success
ramp.
run?
Is what?
Is this the success run, I wonder?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
I only left 1 failure in the video, and it's a special one.
Oh dear.
Uh,
I don't remember that one. I'm in for a surprise.
Yeah?
is it the one where we jumped off the cliff?
I can't remember. I know what I know which section it's in, but I can't remember exactly what happened during it.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I remember there being a couple of just like, well, I just did something dumb as hell and fucked everybody moments.
Oh, well, my for the Templar exhibition, we'll see some really dumb things that I do. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
had a moment like that yesterday in
Templar.
PUBG. Just a total embarrassing moment.
Well,
I was playing third person. I forgot I was playing third person because I was scoped into my sniper, and I was just sitting there staring at a tree like, peek me, peek me. And the guy just pops out and headshots me because he was third personing me from behind the tree. And I was like, oh my god.
Well, as embarrassing as that may be, at least it's not as embarrassing as getting revived and immediately jumping off of the edge again.
Been there, done that. Yep.
Yeah. If I just run forward, I'll get out of the bullets. So, huh. Yeah, geez, 2 hits, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. That's crazy.
yeah. I
There
don't
must
know.
be some sort of peer-to-peer thing.
Maybe.
Because there's no way you could get away with that on a dedicated server.
There's half the times I couldn't get away with it here either. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have to do with travel time, too. Seems like...
maybe.
I don't know. The bullets aren't projectiles, though. It's hit scan, isn't it?
It is.
Huh.
And once more, falling down into this pit. Because we're up to the next section.
And we totally didn't have to go and, figure out how to do this first.
Not at all.
Oh man, full disclosure. Originally it was me picking up the shield. And it took a few attempts before Lazyfrire said, you know what? Why don't you keep your weapons? I'll take the shield. We'll go from there.
I think I actually swapped off my galley for this. I don't remember.
I remember at one point you used the heavy ammo synthesis and then got heavy ammo like 2 seconds later.
Yeah, I was mad about it. I was very mad about it.
Yeah, the heavy weapon I was using before I just swapped there was actually a sword. Not the most
No.
wonderful weapon to have in the Vaulted class. This raid was not designed with swords in mind because it was before they actually existed.
Yeah, that's true. Those came in Taken King as well.
Now, if I was thinking, I probably should have done this encounter as a defender with weapons of light.
Yeah, with the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Oracles.
So in this phase, there's only one oracle that spawns, so you got to go track it down and kill it. And
that can be a bit of a pain in the ass depending on where it spawns.
yeah, and the person with the shield, their main focus is to knock down the Templar's shields, first and foremost with the super for the shield. However, they also can cleanse marks of negation should you fail to find the oracle in time.
Right.
And yeah, that was basically how I was playing. It was like, I am a shield person. I will slam the shield into things, but I'm mostly here to cleanse people and use the super as fast as possible.
We should talk about how the Templar moves around the room.
Yes. Okay, so you may have seen it earlier. There's a big red circle that spawns after the Templar has gotten his shield knocked out. And he will attempt to teleport into it. That thing on that
You
pillar
saw it
right
right
next
there.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah, briefly.
And the way to avoid having him teleport and put his shield back up immediately is to have someone stand in that zone. What this also does, though, is it'll spawn a whole ton of Minotaurs that'll just come and chase you down.
It will make him very angry, and he'll start shooting at you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's let's say something like he summons his Minotaurs or something.
Yep.
And then you just get surrounded by assholes.
Yeah. So
That you can't punch, or shouldn't punch.
one of the best ways to deal with this is to kind of let him teleport after every second or third attempt. That way you can clear out everything that spawns and recollect yourself.
Gives the relic holder enough time to get his super back too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing was, I was finding I was getting my super really fast with that shield, but you guys were using your supers a bit more too at this point.
Yeah.
That's when because so many ads come out, you can do that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
Stormcaller Warlocks clear ads like nobody's business.
Yeah, Hammer Titans
So, orbs
are
everywhere.
fantastic at that as well. Hammer Titans aren't quite as good at AoE clear as maybe a Striker Titan would be, but they're still damn good.
And in addition to being able to cleanse from the ritual, I'm also with the shield able to just stop everything from hitting everyone. So you don't see it a lot because you're not seeing my perspective very much, or me very much at that rate. But what I was basically doing was like standing right out in the middle and just getting shot by the Templar and anything else as much as I could.
Technically, the
with the
Fireteam is
shield
supposed
up.
to be together at this point and moving with like the relic guy. When we were doing this at Max Light, I seem to remember, we grouped up actually in this area where we're seeing right here. And we would pop the shield and we'd all stay together. We'd drop, all kinds of barriers and supers and everything that generate orbs and protect us, and weapons of light to get more supers and fire all our ammo off and all that kind of good stuff. And
Yeah.
everyone would stay together because it was a lot safer.
Yeah, so normally we had a runner, aka Lazyfrire with the shield. We had him go deal with the teleport spots. But really, it's up on everyone's shoulders. If they see a spot and the runner can't get there, just go ahead and pop yourself in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think by the end when we finally realized, oh yeah, right, he teleports at times, that was when it got easy.
Yeah, that's when I
'Cause
had
that
that was
run
one of those
wasn't bad.
eureka moments I was talking about where I'm like, oh yeah, we can stop his teleport when he's trying to teleport. You just jump in the circle and everyone's like, oh yeah, I remember that.
All right, so quickly, what I was trying to show off there was actually an alternate entrance into our next area, and as well as a secret boss chest. I was not quite in the right location because I couldn't quite remember where it was, but it is up there and it does exist.
I remember that. I forgot about that. Did you talk about that when we were doing this? Because I don't remember that.
I think it was the chest down here.
I might have...
That was like, oh, yeah.
I remembered this chest, and then I actually went and looked it up because it was annoying me.
No, I mentioned it maybe in passing, but not like
Yeah, we could have gone and got the one after Templar too.
Yeah. But,
Probably should have.
oh boy. Welcome to the Gorgon's Labyrinth.
We
This section, it's a lot of fun, but it can also be incredibly frustrating.
It was actually a little bit easier for us because we only had 3 people to get through it. It's a lot harder to sneak 6 people through
I
than
don't want
3.
to imagine. Yeah, an entire special needs class trying to get through it at once is because it would have been that if it was
Short
us.
bus coming through.
Yeah.
Man, it's. I personally very much like this section, but I can understand how people might not enjoy it so much.
We actually paused right there because we couldn't remember if we were supposed to jump down or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, maybe
We were
Yeah.
having a debate like, did we go down or is there another way down?
Did
And
we
we're
go-
like, screw it, let's go.
did we go the wrong way?
And I was just sitting there thinking like they're waiting for me to fall to my death because I'm new at this. But then you actually said make sure to actually pop it, and I'm like, oh, okay, good. They're being
No.
nice to me today. Excellent.
No, we're dicks, but not that much. Okay, so the Gorgon's Labyrinth. You see those really bright, flashy, kind of white and black harpies there. Those are the Gorgons. If you get seen by them, it's an instant wipe. Don't get seen.
Yeah, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They just delete you from the universe.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of rude like that.
So,
We actually spent a good while because we couldn't remember where to go.
yeah, this is actually a maze.
We had to consult a map.
And, okay, so the way the stealth works in this section is if you are sprinting, or if you're using your double jump abilities, or your glides, or whatever, the Gorgons will actually actively investigate what the hell you're doing. So the best way to make your way through this is to stay low and just walk your way through.
And I think it got kind of obvious about that at some point when we were doing this. But there were times where we were like, the only way to get out of here is to jump onto this thing. And then 4 Gorgons are just circling us for like an hour.
Yeah, they're like, what was that? And they just start, like, intensely investigating what that noise was.
They're definitely more persistent than the guards in an MGS game, that's for sure.
That's what I was thinking.
But eventually they will fuck off and you can move ahead a little
As
bit
you
more.
can see right here, yeah. But there was a good deal of debate, like, where we're supposed to be going. We're like, oh god. Yep.
Yep. And there's the failure I mentioned, because I wanted to show off exactly how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this is also where Lazyfrire completely disappears from the video.
Whatever. You're better off without me.
So
Yeah, because it took. Would we start at like 6 or something, 6:30, and then, well, after technical issues. So it was like
We spent a good
9:30
4 or 5
when that
hours in
ended.
there.
Yeah, we got at least 3 hours in before I left.
Yeah.
So if you want to get an idea of what happened just there, is Pythonicus is cut out approximately an hour and 45 minutes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the final cut video is 50 minutes. That's
Yep.
like...
Yeah, but
It was a total of about 3.5 hours, 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah, I thought it was more like 5.
No?
Either way.
No?
What you're seeing is like 20% of what we actually did,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Is this after we consulted a map?
This is after we consulted several maps.
Okay, so we know where we're going at this point,
More or less, yes.
to a degree. And I didn't consult a map for this. I actually watched a YouTube video, and I was following along on my second monitor.
I almost feel
yeah,
like a
that's
map would have
probably the
actually...
way to go.
I feel like a map might have actually been slightly more helpful for me, at least, because I'm
It
only...
wasn't though.
Fair enough.
Let me find the map that I was using.
Good, I can actually link it in the thread. So,
I hope it was MS Paint.
It was MS Paint.
yeah, so...
It's like the second you said it, I was like, it's got to be MS
Or
Paint
no,
map
it was drawn on loose leaf paper.
Even better.
with a red crayon.
So you see us taking these sorts of breaks here. That's us actually making sure we're going the correct way. And realizing that, hey, we passed by where we actually need to be.
And this is specifically the map that I was talking about.
And, I hope you like Ring Around the Rosie, because the Gorgons definitely do. You can see on the motion tracker there. That thing is hounding me.
It really is, yeah.
And then I realized exactly where Amythir went here.
One of the funniest fucking things was right before I left, we had a decent run that we got, I don't know, like through 3 or 4 chambers of this thing.
Yeah.
And it was just us going, fuck it, and just running as fast as we could. But I guess it was in the completely wrong direction from what I'm seeing now.
Pretty much, yeah.
But all things told, it's over. It's over now.
Look at Discord. Look at the map that I was
Swear
talking
to
about.
Yeah, I will in just a second. So here is a jumping puzzle. 100% bona fide jumping puzzle. There's a couple of ways to do it. I chose the straight-laced version of doing it the more or less intended way. Amythir actually did it another way, which is using a sword to kind of just gently float down to the platform you're meant to be on.
There was nothing gentle about it. I was brute forcing it.
So, you have a few moments of leeway before these things disappear from the hitboxes disappear, rather. So even if they graphically go away, you can still kind of stand on them for like a second and a half, maybe. And dancing like a fool with his shiny helmet.
Love that helmet.
It's full of stars.
So, that was the final obstacle before the final encounter of this raid.
Don't fall.
Well, I didn't fall, but you did.
I certainly did. More than once, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that little detail. Is those ridges on that side wall there more than capable of ending you? Okay, so the Glass Throne. This is a multi-phase encounter, much like the Templar was. So I guess technically you could say that the Vault of Glass has just 2 encounters, but they're really long encounters.
Involved is the way I'd put it.
Yeah, that also makes a ton of sense. Anyway, the first part here, there's going to be a gatekeeper we have to kill. And when the gatekeeper dies, we have a couple of sync plates that we can stand on and open up time portals. Yes, that's right, time portals. There's one on the left and one on the right. I'm kind of looking at the right one right now. The objective is to get 2 shields from both sides, or 1 shield from each side, rather. And then we go into the middle to defend a conflux again.
So we didn't really know what we were doing when we came in here. We were like, fuck it, we'll 2-man it.
Yeah. Yeah, we,
And we got here and we were looking around, we're like, do you know what to do? No, I don't know what to do. I thought you knew what to do. And that's kind of what we're doing right here, is just talking it out like, do you remember what to do? No, I don't remember what to do.
And yes, you might be able to see I am breaking the no sniper rifle rule because it's absolutely required here. Otherwise, I'm just not going to do enough damage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, so the best way to go about this is to kind of just start it like I did, get a couple of shots in, and have one person waiting and ready to... Or, well, in our case, one person, but have your fire team ready and willing to go and chase the thing down, because it'll teleport all over the arena.
So much damage.
Mm-hmm. You can see we are absolutely just ignoring everything else except for the gatekeeper.
Because they'll just keep respawning.
Yeah. Casually shooting my fire team in the head.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Like you do. He'll come back.
Yeah, you know. So here we have it. We have the Vex time gates. I've gotten this one open, and Amythir went through. He's going to pick up the shield inside and come back out.
There is a problem with that, though.
There's a slight problem with that. Namely, the fact that Praetorians will spawn and start trying to close the gate again. And you'll see it in a few minutes, but while you're inside, you are constantly... Your screen is darkening constantly. You will go blind. And unless you have that shield, you cannot cleanse that debuff off.
And in addition to that, there's oracles in there.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to kill.
Not yet. Later there will be, though.
Oh, that's not this part.
This part
I
is.
still don't know this encounter. Just fuck it.
This part was the gatekeepers inside as well, and once you kill them,
Yeah, you have to kill all the gatekeepers. Right, we didn't even start the boss fight yet. Never mind.
yeah, no, this is the opening of the
pre-boss
encounter.
fight. Yeah.
So here you can see the shield, pretty simple stuff. You can bash people with it. That super is like it's an energy blast with a very sharp bullet drop to it. And hey, new exotic that I get to show off. That's the sleeper simulant that Amythir was mentioning earlier. It is incredibly powerful.
I thought it was a sniper rifle.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
you're using a sniper rifle right now.
Well, I was.
Oh,
yes.
wait.
No,
I'm in Destiny 2 mode. Never mind. I'm in Destiny 2 mode. I'm like, you can't use a sniper and a fusion rifle at the same time. What are you talking about? I'm dumb.
So yeah, sleeper simulant is in fact a fusion rifle, but it
Yes,
operates a hell of a lot like a sniper rifle, though,
It certainly does. It does a lot of damage.
and it can crit.
And it can kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta take what you can get.
It can reflect off the surfaces and bounce back and kill you. Fun fact, that happened to me while we were doing Templar once.
All right, so as you can see, I just blasted one of these Minotaurs with a super because he was about to sacrifice himself to the Conflux. We have 4 sacrifices before we fail this encounter.
Here we go, punching Minotaurs again.
Well, this time with shields.
Yep.
Yeah, now you have your Captain America.
You don't have a
shield.
choice,
Fine.
but still. Minotaur boxing, not on my list of fun things to do. Just saying.
So thankfully, this one is much shorter than the previous ones in terms of how long you have to defend for.
Yeah, that wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, I got a corrective measure that I promptly just destroyed because I didn't think about it too much. Anyway, now that that's over, the final boss, the actual final boss spawns. Atheon times Conflux. He is an asshole.
Really is.
We have cut again to yet another opening of the raid instance. You can see on the rangefinder, we have 5 people in here.
Huh.
Indeed.
You cannot 3-man this encounter unless you are solo as a Sunsinger Warlock. You cannot. It's impossible.
You have to be able to self-res, yeah.
Well, you have to be able to manipulate the phases, because as you can see, he teleports you and 2 of your best friends into a realm where you die and go blind.
Huh.
Not particularly in that order.
How do you... I was gonna say, it wouldn't work otherwise. You know?
So here,
You kind of have to not do it in that order.
So, yeah, 3 people of your fire team will get teleported to one of the 2 sides. You have to figure out which side you get teleported to, call it out correctly, so that your fire team outside can open the correct time gate for you to get out. All the while, you have to kill oracles. And on the outside, this is not the same take. This is a
And
different
because Bungie likes the number 7, there's 7 oracles you have to kill.
one. Yes, and on the outside, you have to deal with exploding harpies while you're opening time gates. So,
Harpies are annoying.
once you get all the oracles inside the time gate dead, and once everyone's out into the open, you can see there that buff times vengeance lasts for half a minute, greatly improves your super regen, your ability regen, and all of your damage. I just did 50,000 damage with the sleeper simulant right there.
Yeah,
I
seems like a bit much.
Yeah, I've also popped out my my defender bubble with weapons of light on it.
And that was pre-tether.
Mm-hmm. So,
Holy shit.
yeah. With a fire team of 5, current level going in for the level 26 version, Atheon melted. Usually you
Very
have to do
upset
that.
to learn that it was the normal version.
Normally, that would take at least, like, at the very least 2 cycles. But if
I
you're
didn't tell them it was a
like, 3.
low-level version because I forgot the high-level version was still available.
So yeah, there you have it. That is the Vault of Glass.
They were like, why did you do that? I was like, I didn't know. But
So,
yeah, Vault of Glass.
as is customary, after you finish a raid, you have to have a dance party.
Of course.
Mhm.
Gotta celebrate your loot.
Exactly.
So, we'll see you next time for The Dark Below.
The Dark Below.